awesome dynamic equalizer by Melda Production Audio. This plugin, if you are a user of the free MEQ by Melda Production Audio, it's a very similar approach and interface and workflow. Right here, you have 5 bands of equalization, right, that can be used in a number of filters and type of bands and stuff. If you right click on any band, it will display this other menu where you choose the different type of filters and bands, right? Peak analog, low shelf, high shelf, low pass, high pass, notch, etc. Right? And also here, if we move this a bit to the side, we can see here that the frequency, we have here the frequency, the general Q, and the gain, right? Boost or cut. This applies for each one of the bands. Of course, you can do that here with this in this window. You don't need the other one. With your mouse wheel, you can like put this slope narrower or wider, right? And you also see, of course, the frequency, decibels, and stuff like that. But here, if you right click, you have also the option to move through the different bands that you have enabled here. From the 5 bands, we're gonna check out the dynamics feature in a moment, right? Also, you have here a high pass filter and low pass filter. Pretty cool. You have the option also to listen only what this particular band is doing. If you enable auto listen and you maintain the click here, you're gonna listen only what that band is doing. All right, you disable auto listen and you're not gonna have that. You have also an analyzer that you can disable like that. You can use it in different colors and stuff, and pretty cool that you have the analyzer and this other line or curve that you have is what you are doing to that specific part of the frequency range, right? Pretty cool. The one below, it's the normal, and the one above is the movement that you did, right? Pretty cool. If you cut, it's the same, right? You're gonna see the cut here, and pretty cool. That's one thing that I enjoyed a lot of this plugin. You have also a sonogram like that. Disable it very quickly and simple. You have some extra settings for the opacity, rainbow opacity, resolution, stuff like that, regarding the workflow, right, of the plugin. You can pause also. Pretty cool. And you have here a dry wet functionality. Pretty cool. Shift, right? You can move the control like that. Double click and it resets with the 0. You have an input and output, and of course you have a saturation like in the free one, but this also has an analog coloration here, right? It includes some cool meters here for the input and output and width as well, that you can like for instance hide some windows like this, right? Pretty cool. And let's check out, if you right click, you're gonna have here the dynamic section that you can enable or disable. For instance, if I cut here and I want to apply compression to that cut, so it dynamically cuts that part of the frequency range, you have here dynamics, which is like the threshold, then attack, which is an auto, and release, which is an auto by default, and the transient, if you want to preserve a bit more of the transient for that specific part of the frequency spectrum. So if we start to how do you say, if you start to decrease, sorry, the dynamics here, the threshold, we're gonna start to see gain reduction here, right? Negative, like that. You're gonna start to see the compression here, dynamic EQ. You have the attack for that specific band, the release, and the transient, like I said, and you can also use it as an expansion, right? If you do the opposite. For instance, if you want to boost dynamically, you're gonna do that by increasing the dynamics control here, right? Pretty cool. You have the option to use it as sidechain as well, and you can use it add harmonics with this, like 1, 2, 3 different orders of harmonics. If you add here harmonics, semitones, stuff like that, right? Pretty cool equalizer. There are tons of cool presets. If you double click on anything, you're gonna have a preset here. I'm gonna put the default one and start with this drums that I have here, right? So let's begin with the drums. I'm gonna just cut some of the lower mids. Auto listen. Alright, let's apply some dynamics. I choose here. So the auto is fine, auto release and attack. Before, after, before, after. Also, I forgot to mention that you have mid-side processing. So if you want to add that, you click here toolbar, you choose here L plus R, and you have options here to set it as stereo, which is normal, also mid-side if you want to affect one portion of the mix and another portion of the mix, which is the mid and sides separately. Pretty cool, right? The default is L plus R, which is stereo, right? You can hide this. So pretty cool. Recording here dynamically. If you want to, for instance, boost also dynamically, let's do that. I'm gonna apply high pass as well to remove some of the low end. And let's boost here with a regular band, which is peak. Yeah, peak. But I'm gonna do this dynamically. Okay, gain before a bit clean in the low mid area with this cut, right? Less boxy frequencies and a bit of weight to the kick drum with this. All right, so that's pretty much it here in the drums. Let's add some saturation as well, just to test it. Cool. And it's important that we level match here the input and output with this, like before, after, right? Pretty cool. And let's use also this equalizer in these guitars. I like to get rid of annoying and problematic frequencies like resonances and stuff in the highs, with also on vocals, right? So double click here, let's find it. All right, let's reduce it. Cleaner. but I think works better, for instance, with Dynamics. You hear that? Right? Okay. A very small amount of compression here. Before, after, let's disable the compression. Okay, very subtle. Also, let's remove some of the lows. Also a high pass filter, very useful. Before, after. Right, that's just a couple of examples where you can use this awesome dynamic EQ by Melda Production Audio.